out of China's Belt and Road Initiative is following talks with Secretary of State Marco Rubio. On Wall Street this morning, stock futures are deep in the red. More details at srnnews.com.
So you may ask, who are these people? These hundreds of thousands of people who've decided to do something different with how they pay for health care, and they join MediShare. It's a good question. MediShare members are people who realize they have a choice. They're not stuck with a status quo that they don't like. And we know this from research of MediShare members. They tend to have certain values in common, like their faith. They love that they're actually sharing with one another. They don't have to be part of a system that forces them to pay for things that they don't support. They also value joining with other people who prioritize healthier lifestyles and encourage each other. They value customer service that's for them and their families, and they find that refreshing. And they're entrepreneurs, people who work in the gig economy, pastors, school teachers, business people who do clearly value saving money. That's a big part of this, up to $500 a month with MediShare. You too can do something different. You can start saving now. Here's the number. Call 844-45-BIBLE. That's 844-45-BIBLE. 844-45-BIBLE.
Here's the latest news and information that impacts you. I'm Derek White. The Kansas Bureau of Investigation says a Gove County Sheriff's deputy responded to a disturbance early Friday morning in Grainfield. 30-year-old Ty Kaiser allegedly struck a 63-year-old family member in the head. He was compliant initially when the deputy arrived on scene, but then he became uncontrollable, causing the deputy to deploy his taser. Proving to be ineffective, Kaiser charged the deputy, striking him in the head and upper body. The deputy then fired one round from his firearm, hitting Kaiser to stop the assault. Kaiser was transported to the hospital where he's pronounced deceased. The deputy was treated for minor injuries and released. A fire broke out early Saturday morning in a basement apartment in Hutchinson, and after the fire department put out the flames, they found 2 dead inside the home, including a child. 2 people survived the fire, including 1 child, and they were taken to Hutchinson Medical Center. The child is in stable condition, but the adult was seriously injured. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. Divers have pulled 2 black box data recorders from the regional jet that went down in the Potomac River Wednesday night after it collided with an Army helicopter near Reagan National Airport. So far, authorities have identified 55 victims, 3 of which have been connected to Kansas. 20-year-old Grace Maxwell was a local of Wichita. She was a mechanical engineer major at Cedarville University in Ohio. She was on her way back to school after attending her grandfather's funeral in Wichita. Former Miss Kansas contestant, 30-year-old Kaya Duggins, was also on board. She grew up in Wichita, graduating from Wichita East High School. She earned an undergraduate degree from Wichita State University and then graduated from Harvard Law School. She was set to begin teaching at Howard University this coming fall. The Wichita community is stepping up to help the families of those killed in Wednesday's plane crash near Washington, D.C. The Wichita Foundation has established the ICT Together Fund. People are being urged to donate to the fund, which will be used for crisis remediation and mental health resources. For more information, visit nwksradio.net.
Rocket 1025.
With your updated forecast, I'm staff meteorologist Paul Trombley from the Weatherology Weather Center. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times today, with daytime highs approaching 69. Northwesterly winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Lows dip down to around 19 tonight. Mainly cloudy skies expected. Highs level off around 38 tomorrow. Cloudy skies expected. Ample sunshine expected Wednesday, with daytime highs approaching 55. 46 Thursday. Taking a look at the extended forecast. 50 Friday, 47 Saturday, and 40 on Sunday. Another look at the short range. We should top out at 69 today. Lows level off around 19 tonight. A high of 38 tomorrow. Get up to the minute weather updates from the Weatherology Weather Center. I'm staff meteorologist Paul Trombley on this NWKS radio station. Currently, it's 41 degrees.
Goodland's Rocket 1025 is your home for Goodland High School athletics. From touchdowns and three-pointers to home runs, Ross Volkmer has you covered with all the action. Join him for live broadcast on Goodland's Rocket 1025, your front row seat to the Cowboys and Cowgirls. Select games video streamed on the Goodland Voice. GHS athletics this season are made possible in part by
Farm Credit of Western Kansas, Miller Construction, S&M Recovery and Towing, Land to Legacy Real Estate, and
Cornerstone Orthodontics. Drive into the new year with incredible deals at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas. Right now, get a $3,000 total cash allowance on the 24 Chevy Suburban or Tacoma 25 Chevy Equinox at 2.9% APR financing, plus no payments for 90 days when you finance with GM Financial. Looking for a truck? Get 0% APR on the 24 GMC Sierra 1500 with a 5.3-liter engine for well-qualified buyers and score $3,250 when you trade in an eligible vehicle. Visit Hurl Chevrolet GMC today or shop online at hurlchev.com.
New year, new projects, and new deals at Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware. Start 2025 with a bang by tackling those home improvements. Refresh your space with vibrant Benjamin Moore paint or stock up on storage totes and shelves, perfect for organizing. Lumber prices are down, making it easier to tackle your next big project. Keep warm while you grill year-round with their top-notch grills and smokers from Traeger and Weber. And don't let the snow slow you down. Check out their great selection of snowblowers from Ego and Toro. It's Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware with locations in Goodland and Colby, your partner for a productive new year.
Looking for great food and unbeatable convenience? Swing by the Cowboy Corner Express. Every Thursday, enjoy their famous barbecue beef sandwiches, hot and fresh. Need to feed a crowd? Their sandwich and wrap trays are perfect for any occasion. Start your day with some delicious daylight donuts. And don't forget, students and school employees get 10% off every day, excluding gas, alcohol, and cigarettes. The Cowboy Corner Express, located on South Main in Goodland.
Farmers, the spring crop insurance deadline is fast approaching. Have you started the process of getting a written agreement on crops that are not typically insurable? This deadline is also March 15th, but much more information is needed in order to request coverage. Now is the time to call or stop by the insurance agency in Goodland to review your crops and coverage. See Roxanne, Susan, and Judy at the insurance agency located at 1020 Main in Goodland, or call them at 785-899-5011 for your peace of mind.
The Farmers State Bank of Oakley has been financing agriculture since the day we opened our doors. Hello, this is Corbin, and we are proud to be your locally owned partner in ag. We invite you to come and visit with us when you need to purchase new or used farm equipment, or need any type of agriculture or business loan. We have the knowledge, experience, and financial resources to keep you growing. The Farmers State Bank of Oakley, a tradition of community and agriculture for over 115 years. Member FDIC.
You ready? Watch out, 3, 5!
It's time for the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer.
If you want to win in football, it all starts up front. Mass kicks ass.
And Max Gershon.
Look at their schedule, folks. They played no one, and they never do to start the year until they play Kansas. They get these Mickey Mouse wins out of their ways.
The High Plains only local sports talk show, broadcasting live on Rocket 102.5 and streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
They're basically idiots.
Covering it all from the preps.
Up ahead to Blair Lennon. Lennon, the crossover, back to Cure. Hello, boom! A two-handed tomahawk flush.
To the pros.
Shotgun snap to Nix. Protection is good. Bold loads it up. He's got it. A receiver there. Franklin makes the catch. In the end zone, touchdown Denver.
The Blitz is presented by Hurl Chevrolet GMC, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware, and F&B Bank. Along with the insurance agency, the Farmers State Bank in Oakley, the Cowboy Corner Express, and Equity Bank of Hoxie, Quinter, and Grinnell.
Let's go to work.
Good Monday morning, everybody, and welcome to the month of February of 2025. Hard to believe it, but glad you're with us here on the Morning Blitz. No matter if you're listening on Goodland's Rocket 102.5, streaming it on nwksradio.net, or, of course, YouTube, Facebook, and X. Like, subscribe, and, of course, through the Hurl Chevrolet GMC broadcast stream. Glad you're with us here on this Monday morning. Max, I tell you what, it is certainly a Monday morning here on the Blitz because we have already had some technical issues with one computer. Hopefully not the one that you're coming in on today for going forward. But, got one computer that completely just will not work. It just must be a Monday. And that's we'll push on through. We'll push on through here on this February the 3rd, which, by the way, going to be super, super nice. You know, producer Papa Gershon's going to be playing some golf today over in KC. There might be a lot of people playing golf today. Ties today, expected to be in the mid-60s today. Although enjoy it because I believe the cool down is coming up here rather quickly. I believe at least out here tomorrow we're going from 63. You can flip those numbers around. It'll be 36. And then if it even gets better, you can flip the numbers back around and add 2. It becomes 65. So 63 to 36, up to 65 on Wednesday. And then we will experience more of the typical February temperatures, including a balmy 26 a week from Tuesday. So that's what's expected here on this Monday. So yeah, we got lots of interesting weather going on, but that's typical this time of year. What else can we say? How are we doing? How was the weekend?
Good. Feel better now over the sickness. I played some golf this weekend. It was nice enough.
Nice. How did we shoot? When was the last time you played golf prior to this one?
When I was back in KC in December.
In December, yeah.
I took a couple weeks off, but I was playing some decent golf. It was, I had a rough start, but I got together around the fourth, fifth. Well, I only played 9 holes both times, but it was good to get out there. Speaking of producer Papa Gershon, he just celebrated his birthday on Sunday. Just wanted to give a quick
I saw. What was it again? It was
77.
77, I think is correct. Yeah.
I hope I'm not wrong.
Happy birthday, producer Gersh. We appreciate that.
So happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday. Belated.
To my grandfather. And that was the weekend.
Hey, you know what? You had some sort of fun.
Yeah.
So that was good. Glad to hear that. So had some good fun times, and now ready to get rolling into the week, right?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, we got lots to get to here in our first segment. Nick Athen, of course, will join us as he usually does on a Monday. We'll be talking Super Bowl coming up with Nick Athen here in our second segment. And, of course, anything we try to get left out, we will pick up in the leftovers. But let's get things going with our weekend winners and losers.
There are 2 kinds of people in this world.
There's winners and there's losers.
Which ones were which this past weekend?
I want winners. Loser? You're a loser.
It's the weekend's winners and losers on the Morning Blitz.
Going to be a winner, be a winner.
All right, weekend winners, Max. Where do you stand on winners of the weekend?
Well, you know how I like to start the weekend winners and losers. I like to stay local with my first pick. So let's do it like we always do. The Colby Eagles traveled to Ulysses on Friday and got the job done against the Tigers in dominant fashion, as was kind of expected, especially on the girls' side. They were leading 37-3 at halftime over the Tigers. And just to go over some scoring really quick, Logan Nolan had 9 points. Elizabeth Barton had 11 points. Shaylee Holzmeister was 16. Bryn Stanley with 14. Sadie Cheney had points. Maddie McCarty had points. Emily Flanagan had points. Allie Flanagan had points. Everyone, I believe 8 out of the 10 girls that got on the basketball court scored in that game for Coach Walker. So really everyone got involved. They forced 22 turnovers and allowed 17 points. So that really, shows that their defense just was, it was an outmatching when their defense was going up against that Ulysses offense. And then on the guys' side, another win for them against Ulysses. The score, it was 63-51, but they led by double digits from really the entirety of that game. Jordan Jones had a nice 21 points. Casey Carroll with 6. Foss with 10. Tubbs with 14, Grant Stevens with 10, Kirsten Rock with 2. So, after not having balanced scoring in the orange and black, it was nice to see everyone get involved offensively for the Colby Eagles in that 6-man rotation. And so good performances for both the Colby Lady Eagles and the boys basketball team as well, getting the job done in Ulysses. And then, tomorrow will be in Norton.
Yeah, nice weekend. High school basketball, pretty good. Like I said, it wasn't Goodland had the Friday off, which I admit was extremely nice. There were plenty of other teams that had games this past weekend. Some other scores from around the region. Wallace, I'll start with the ladies first. Wallace County pulling away from Decatur Community 50-25. Oxley beat Quinter 69-58. Rollins County with an easy win over St. Francis 60-31. Weskin took down Rolla 71-34. Oakley, they took care of Hill City 57-10. 67-34 was the final of Wheatland Grinnell over Ness City. And Golden Plains beat Logan Palco in the closest game of the night, 33-27. Some boys results. Decatur Community with the win over Wallace County 53-47. Golden Plains fell to Logan Palco by 40, 73-23. Wheaton Grinnell lost to Ness City 74-48. Oakley lost 50-38 to Hill City. Weskin with the win over Rollins 77-32. Hoxie won 48-32 over Quinter, and Rollins County beat St. Francis 52-28. On the basketball side of things, this week marks the beginning of the Western Kansas Liberty League basketball tournament, the WKLL. And something new this year is that I believe it's the semifinals and the finals will be played at the Max Jones Fieldhouse. They have been played in other gyms throughout, and sometimes it's played locally at just like one local gym, like let's just say it's in Northern Valley, and that's where it's played at. But this year it'll be played at the Max Jones Fieldhouse. So you get a chance. So I think it's kind of cool for those kids for a chance. They've done it in the event center before too, but the chance for those kids to play, the title game and the semifinal game, a little bit bigger arena than what they're used to playing in every single night. So kind of a neat deal there. And we'll actually have our friend of the program and Weskin head football coach. Basketball coach Val Reese will join us here coming up later this week to discuss more on that as they get ready to do that. Okay, and I'm wrong. Sorry, just the finals, the final day, the championship games will be played on Saturday in the Max Jones Fieldhouse, not the semifinals, just the finals. Still though, kind of cool. I always think it's neat. Like the bigger the game, the bigger the arena. I think that's just cool. I like that stuff. I think that's fun. See, and they do that very well up in Nebraska for the state tournament. I always think it's kind of fun. They used to do that. Like when I was in school, you'd play at one of the local high schools in the Lincoln metro area, which is a way bigger gym than you were playing in. There was the biggest classification of schools in Nebraska. Then the next one you'd play at the Pershing Center, which was a dump, by the way. There's a reason it's been demolished. It was a dump, but it was a bigger arena. It was a pretty big arena. And then if you won that, then you played in the Bob Devaney Sports Center or now Pinnacle Bank Arena. You played in the one where everybody sees on TV all the time. And just thought as the stage got bigger, the game got bigger. I just
wasn't 6A basketball is at Wichita State, right?
Right, but I think all rounds are there. I believe. Am I wrong on that? I thought like because there's 8.
It's not just the championship. It's not just the championship. I know that.
Yeah, I think it's all however games are the 4 quarterfinals, the 2 semifinals, and the champ. They're all played there.
Yeah.
Same thing at any place. It doesn't matter if it's at Emporia or in Hutchinson or at Manhattan where Kansas State plays. Once again, that's a discussion for another time. But nonetheless, I always enjoy that stuff. Anyway, moving on here. Weekend winners and losers. How about another shout out to the Fort Hays Tech Northwest men who continue to really play some good basketball. They won 81-59 over Cloud County on Saturday afternoon. Got a double-double from Drees Williams. The Fort Hays Tech Northwest men have now won 7 of their last 10 basketball games, improving themselves to 8-12 overall this season. Remind you, folks, they started off the year 1-9, 1-9, and they can. And now, after this road win, they are now home, I believe, through the month of February for every game except for maybe one. They are home for every single game in the month of February except for one. So they have got a ton of home cooking that they can use to their advantage coming up here through the month of February to continue to climb out of the hole that was dug. Once again, they were 1-9. They are now 8-12. They have won 7 of their last 10. Fort Hays Tech Northwest men, winners of the weekend. You got any more winners, Max?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The biggest winner, the biggest news story in some time going national, the Los Angeles Lakers are the winner of the weekend for the trade that they somehow pulled off with the Dallas Mavericks. This was one of those moments in sports history where, I'll never forget it. I'll never forget that night because it was just so out of the blue. It's so rare that you have a trade that has no rumors. No one knows about it. There's no leaks of information. There's no, nothing. With this big of names being swapped, it was a trade that was unexpected and, something we've really never seen before and arguably the biggest trade in NBA history. We'll see how it turns out. But this was unbelievable. Luka Doncic basically traded for Anthony Davis. The Mavericks also got a first, and then there were some players like Maxi Kleba, Max Christie, and Markieff Morris in there as well. This just was unbelievable. I still can't really believe and fathom that this trade actually happened. I think the Mavericks will still be good, but the fact that you get to see Luka and LeBron, 2 of the most talented basketball players ever, playing basketball together. And you have Luka traded at the age of 25. I mean, to put this into perspective, it's like if the Bengals right now traded Jamar Chase for Mike Evans. It just makes no sense. It really makes little to no sense for the Mavericks. It's crazy. And the fact that they only got 1 first-round pick out of this. I mean, 34-year-old Kevin Durant got, I want to say like 11 first-round picks when he was traded, were involved in the trade for Kevin Durant from the Brooklyn Nets to the Phoenix Suns. And the Mavericks were only able to get 1 from the Lakers, and it's a disaster for them. I mean, I'm trying to imagine what it would be like to be a Mavericks fan right now. Like it's like if the Chiefs just traded Patrick Mahomes. Like, he's the heart of Dallas. He is the heart of Dallas, and overnight, your heart and soul of your city's athletics are just ripped away because the GM was bored. Was pretty much just bored. It was craziness. And it was unbelievable.
I would love to know more on the background story of this entire trade, because there is something fishy about this. I don't care what you say. It's extremely fishy. Can you give it's a 3-team trade. Can you give more of the details on who went where for what?
Okay, so the Lakers received Luka Doncic, Maxi Kleber, Markieff Morris, Jayhawk, from the Mavericks, who announced the trade on Sunday morning. Dallas acquired Anthony Davis, Max Christie, who's young and has been playing better basketball, and the Lakers' 2029 first-round pick. And the Jazz also were kind of in the corner, also receiving Jalen Hood Schifino and the second-round pick. I don't understand how 3-team trade works like that. I don't know why that needed to happen, but it did to make the trade work. This was such an interesting trade because the Mavericks, no one knew. Luka didn't want to leave. Luka did not request to leave. He was actually planning on staying there his whole career, he said, and signing a supermax. So this caught him off guard. It caught Anthony Davis off guard. But for Nico Harrison, the GM of the Dallas Mavericks, to not only trade look, if you're going to trade Luka, that's one thing, but to not shop him, to not see what all of the offers are, to just call up the Lakers and be like, we want Anthony Davis. And the Lakers were probably like, no way. And then they were like, we'll give you Luka. And then the Lakers were probably like, he'll be there tomorrow. Like, it's just a crazy scenario of how it almost feels like malpractice, how terrible a job I feel like this was done on the Mavericks side. And it's a trade. I've never seen anything like it, and I don't know if you'll ever see anything like it again. And a wild night in sports when this trade happened.
I got to know more. There has to be something more to this.
They wanted better defense, and they want to win now. And this is the thing that they thought he was.
They want to win now,
shape.
but they don't think that their best player on their basketball team can help them win now.
I'm just telling you what they said, Ross. It makes zero sense.
It makes absolutely no sense. I read somewhere that somebody said, well, they didn't know if they could get him to sign to a max deal. They didn't know if they'd be able to get him to sign to a max deal. I don't know if I believe
Nico. In the press conference, and I'm going to be very interested to see what Luka, I'm sure, says today as he landed in LA last night, and same with AD. But Nico said that he had no reason to believe. This is the GM of the Mavs that made this trade happen. It was all him. He said it was all him. He had no reason to believe that Luka would not have signed an extension.
Yeah. So
what on God's green earth are we doing? It makes absolutely no sense. No sense.
Yeah, I don't get it either. It doesn't add up. You're not getting youthful talent for youthful talent. You're getting youthful talent. I mean, and once again, it's LA that wins this thing, and that, just the grease and slop that city gets to pull out, whether it's the Dodgers or the Lakers or whatever, they just find a way. It's amazing to me. I don't know. I mean, give LA credit. LeBron's probably only got a year or two left, and now you've got a kid that can take over and be the star of LA. When he's probably 27 or 28 years old. It just, I don't understand it. I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense. You can definitely Mark Cuban no longer is the owner of the Dallas Mavericks, and you can tell this is This makes absolutely zero sense when it's all said and done, unless they're setting up for a bigger deal, where they're going to pull another trade off. I have no idea. I don't.
Who is a bigger deal than Luka? It
And that's-
doesn't make any sense.
I don't get it either. That's why I said I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. I'm with you 100%. Like I said, there has to be something in the weeds that nobody knows yet. There has to be something there. Has to be.
I mean, if you're an Mavericks fan, you gotta hope. You gotta hope that the injury must be
Or
worse
your
than it is.
GM has a mental problem.
And
he's not
I'm leaning that way. I'm leaning that way because it was a wild night that no one in the NBA will ever forget.
My last winner of the weekend is going to go to Jack Besh. And people are like, who the heck is Jack Besh? Well,
Yes.
he's a tight end from TCU who was playing in the Senior Bowl here this past Saturday, which, by the way, was a very entertaining Senior Bowl. The American team beat the national team on the very last play of the game. They threw it to Jack Besh on a fourth down and goal from the 1. And Besh was able to make the catch along the ground, and he was the MVP of the Senior Bowl, which was very, very cool. As he helped lead the American team to a 22-19 win in that Senior Bowl down in Mobile, Alabama. But the part of the thing is you're a winner is you made the winning play. But the other part thing is he was named the MVP, and this all comes after his older brother, Tiger Besh, who was an all Ivy League kick returner for Princeton. He was one of those young men that was unfortunately killed in that terror attack in New Orleans, French quarterback on New Year's Day. And so it just kind of comes full circle. It just kind of comes around a little bit. It's just interesting to see that storyline. You know, your brother, a kid you probably looked up to your whole life, one of your best friends in life, is horrifically killed in a terrible accident, in a terrible deal that happens in New Orleans. You end up playing, and your next time you play a football game, you end up scoring the winning touchdown. You can't tell me there's not something heavenly about that. That's just really, really cool. And so anyway, my winner of the weekend goes to them. Also, shout out to Nebraska men's basketball. They kind of have a little K-State flavor to them here. They've bounced back and won 2 in a row over 2 ranked teams. They beat Oregon last night, 77-71. So lose 6 in a row, bounce back to win 2 ranked beat 2 ranked teams in a row for Nebraska men's basketball. All right.
Also, shout out Rory McIlroy for his win at Pebble Beach.
Yeah, there you go.
Another winner of the weekend.
Yeah. Would you love to play Pebble Beach?
Yeah, I would if the weather was right, because the weather can get bad, and then it's just like
it
pay all
does
this money, and you can't. There's no refund on rain. There's none of that. There's no rain protection and weather protection at Pebble Beach. So if you pick a date and it's windy as crap and it's raining, you're just screwed. And that's kind of a scary idea.
You better know how to play the wind. So you better have.
You can't play the wind there.
Anyway, on to weekend losers. What do you got for losers this weekend?
The Kansas Jayhawks, big fat losers
Can
again.
Can we bundle this up here? I know you were going to bring up the Jayhawks.
And save for the leftovers.
Let's just no. I want to bundle this up for weekend losers and just put highly ranked Big 12 teams as a loser of the weekend, because KU, of course, as Max was going to say, blows a 21-point lead, largest in program history in their loss at Baylor. Number 6, Houston had a 33-game home winning streak ended by Texas Tech in overtime, 82-81. And, of course, Kansas State goes on the road to Ames and beats the socks off of number 3 Iowa State. So the 3 highest-ranked teams in the Big 12 all get handed losses this weekend. So why not highly ranked Big 12 teams losers of the weekend? All right, go on with your Kansas thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, it's everything I've been saying. The problems have been they just continue to show up. Look, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what needs to be fixed anymore at this point. Well, I feel like I have a good idea of what needs to be fixed, but I don't believe it's going to be fixed. There's a lot of people being very upset with Bill Self, and I think it's rightfully so. He doesn't look like he doesn't have the fire on the sideline that you see every year from Bill Self. It just is not there. It's not. I'm sorry, it's not there. It is 100% not there. And I don't know what that is showing to people or what that's showing me, but I just know it's not there. And this is a team that he will not let these younger guys or these transfer guys, he will not let them shine. The ball has got to be in DeJuan, Hunter, and KJ's hands. And I'm going to just go on record right now and tell you, all three of them are awful. They are all awful to watch play basketball. I am so sick and tired of all three of them playing basketball. It's a joke, and they're not good together. They don't work in a Kansas uniform. It doesn't work. I'm done. I want to see Ryland. I want to see AJ Storr. I want to see Zeke, and I want them to have full control. I want to see Flory. I mean, Flory is as far as talent on a basketball court, Flory is like miles ahead of KJ Adams. Miles ahead of KJ Adams. And when KJ took those back-to-back shots, at the beginning of the year, I probably would have been really upset and thrown my phone. I just started laughing because at this point, it's a comedy. It is a comedy that you have KJ Adams continuing to chuck contested layups up, spinning push shots, jumpers from the free throw line that he never hits. He'll never hit them. He hasn't never hit them in his career, and he'll continue to not hit them. And he keeps doing it in clutch moments. And this team is going to keep choking because there's no defense inside. KJ is not that smart of a basketball player. Hunter isn't athletic, and he doesn't try. DeJuan keeps turning the ball over and can't make shots. I don't know. It's just it's a complete disaster. And I hope and pray that Bill is just like, all right, let's go to these other guys. Because the three that I know he loves, he's got a soft spot for all three of them, but it's not working, Bill. So let's switch it up.
That ain't happening. Just don't.
Chalk the season up. Let's hope Darren Peterson comes in next year and turns the program around because it's done. It's done with these three. They're done. They are done.
It was amazing to me. I watched that game. I watched KU just, get on a roll and completely pull away. And I thought, well, this game's over. And I remember turning off the game. I had something else to do. So I went on and came back. Look, they lost by 11. I was like, what in the world happened? And Bill Self said in his post-game interview, was like, the defense was pitiful, just pitiful. They got to be better defensively. And I don't know. It seems like it's so funny because, there's one game they lose and they blame it because DeJuan wasn't playing. And then, they have too many issues. They have all the talent in the world and probably almost too much talent, and they can't find a way to put it all together.
He is not letting the talent shine. Hunter Dickinson, I'm done with it. Him, KJ, and DeJuan are not the answer.
I wonder if NIL has something to do with it. Why
are we bringing in these guys? Are brought in. They need to shine. At this point, you got to let them shine. Tonight, you got to let AJ, Ryland, and Zeke be the only. It's got to go through those three. It cannot continue to go through KJ and Flory. It can't continue to go through KJ, Hunter, and DeJuan. It can't.
Yeah, big game tonight against Iowa State. We'll see how they rebound or bounce back, however you want to call it, in this game. By the way, before we get to Nick Athen here, I got to throw out some great, ridiculous stats. These are some ridiculous stats. Once again, KU blowing the largest lead in program history. Houston had a 33-game winning streak snapped. And here's the icing on the cake with the K-State stats. So K-State beats Iowa State handily there up at Ames, snapped a 20-game home winning streak for Iowa State. K-State, in the same breath, ends a 15-game road slide. And the stat of the day, as they would say, K-State is the first sub-500 team to beat a top 5 opponent on the road by 15 or plus points since ever. No one has ever beaten. It was the most dominant win by a team on the road with a sub-500 record over a ranked squad of top 5. By the way, it was ridiculous. I was watching that game, too, on Saturday. The Brandon Hassan 3 from the Pioneer logo, that had to be a 33, 34-foot triple. It was way deep. And it wasn't like he just came down and chucked it. It was within the offense. He's like, I got to get it up. He just center cut that sucker. That was unbelievable.
It was nuts.
K-State, like I said, very tough weekend for highly ranked basketball teams. And K-State's not a loser. They're a big winner of the weekend. But
big winner.
I would say, once again, the highly ranked teams, the 3 highest ranked teams of the Big 12, all fell in some sort of epic fashion. Over this past weekend, so they are losers of the weekend. Any more losers?
Not really. I was going to throw out the Grammys last night. That sucked. Grammys just suck now.
I care less big loser. Who cares about the Grammys?
We don't really have time to go into.
No, it's all right. I got another loser, but I'm actually going to bring in Nick Athen for that, and we'll bring him in when I got another loser because I got thoughts on. I got questions for Nick on this person. So anyway, all right, we're going to get to a break. We'll come back. Nick Athen's waiting patiently when we return. We will visit with him next, talk Super Bowl and plenty of other good things around the NFL. You're listening to the Morning Blitz.
Buy one iPhone 16 Pro Max and get one on Nextech Wireless. iPhone 16 Pro Max is powered by the A18 Pro chip and built for Apple Intelligence. Now available in 4 stunning finishes: black titanium, white titanium, natural titanium, and desert titanium. Which iPhone 16 Pro Max color will you choose? Stop by a location near you to take advantage of this amazing deal today. Nextech Wireless, connecting Kansans.
It's time for a check of the markets with the Anderson Trade Group on the Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio Network.
Good morning, this is Kate Thompson with the Anderson Trade Group. Today's Monday, February 3rd. And on the overnight plus sign, March corn lower 6 cents at 4.76. May down 6 1/4 at 4.86 3/4. July down 5 3/4 at 4.91. September down 3 1/4 at 4.57. March soybeans up 1 1/4 on the overnight at 10.43 1/4. May up a half cent at 10.58. July unchanged at 10.72 1/4. August down 3/4 cents at 10.66 1/4. September beans down 3/4 cents at 10.48 3/4. Chicago wheat, the March contract lower 1 3/4 at 5.57 3/4. May down 2 at 5.70 1/4. July down 2 1/2 at 5.81 3/4. September down 2 1/2 at 5.95 1/2. Kansas City wheat, the March contract lower 3 cents on the overnight at 5.76 1/4. May down 2 3/4 at 5.86 1/4. July down 2 1/4 at 5.96 1/4. September hard wheat down 2 1/2 at 6.08. On the stock market this morning, the Dow down 622 at 44,076. The S&P down $98 at 5,969. The Nasdaq down 385 at 21,204. Crude oil down up $1.92 a barrel at 74.45, and gold higher $16 an ounce, 2,851. If you have any questions about marketing grain or would like to talk about risk management options, give our Colorado office a call. John Hankey or John Stiles at 970-744-4484, or in our Kansas City office, myself, Tom Sluto, Jared Ball, or Tyler Ghosh at 913-748-3000.
The Anderson Trade Group, proud market partners with Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio. Find out more at andersongrain.com. The risk of loss through trading futures and or options is substantial, and each investor and or trader must consider whether this is a suitable investment. Past performance, whether actual or indicated, is not indicative of future results. The Anderson Trade Group has no guarantee that the advice given will result in profitable trades.
LivestockMarket.com puts you in control when buying or selling commercial livestock, seed stock, or show stock. The easy-to-use online platform at LivestockMarket.com offers private treaty, online auction, and live auction internet bidding. Animals are sold before they ever leave your place. And with LivestockMarket.com, there's no middleman. Buyers connect directly with livestock and hay producers. There's no easier way to find buyers for cattle, sheep, goats, pigs, and hay. Sell on your terms today with LivestockMarket.com.
Our farmers feed us all. For generations, they've done what's best for the land. So why is the litigation industry threatening Kansas farmers' go-to crop protection tool? Without glyphosate-based herbicides, crop yields will drop, costs will soar, and we'll all see even higher grocery bills. Farmers need to be supported, not controlled. To keep glyphosate available in our state, go to TakeControlKansas.com. Paid for by Modern Ag Alliance in support of Kansas farmers.
New year, new projects, and new deals at Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware. Start 2025 with a bang by tackling those home improvements. Refresh your space with vibrant Benjamin Moore paint or stock up on storage totes and shelves, perfect for organizing. Lumber prices are down, making it easier to tackle your next big project. Keep warm while you grill year-round with their top-notch grills and smokers from Traeger and Weber. And don't let the snow slow you down. Check out their great selection of snowblowers from Ego and Toro. It's Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware with locations in Goodland and Colby, your partner for a productive new year.
Miss the weekend action?
Yes, you caught me.
No worries. We've got all the highlights and lowlights covered.
Hey, okay, well, catch me up.
This is the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer.
20 minutes to the top of the hour here on a Monday, February the 3rd. We are less than a week away from the Super Bowl. And could it be a three-peat for the Kansas City Chiefs where the Eagles snap all the fun, all the party? We'll find out here in a couple of days. Nick Athen, our good friend from ChiefsBlitz.com, kind enough to join us once again here on a Monday. Good morning, Nick. How was the weekend?
Good morning, gents. Outside the Jayhawks, it was a wonderful weekend.
Yeah, wasn't too bad. All right, Nick had a weird look on his face when I was saying I had a question for him before we a little bit of a tease there for Nick.
There we go.
I wanted to ask Nick. I saw this weekend that Eric Bieniemy is going to be the Bears running back coach in their new staff. Why can this guy not get an offensive coordinator job at the NFL level? Why can he not get a head coaching job? What is he doing with his career? Can you help me understand Eric Bieniemy? Because it really doesn't make any sense on what in the world. I thought he wanted to be an NFL head coach or be an OC, but he can't pull off any of this stuff. And instead, he's now the running backs coach for the Bears instead of the OC at UCLA.
Because outside of coaching running backs, he can't coach.
Okay.
It's just that. I mean, listen, he had 21 interviews. Some of the teams twice. I think one team 3 times. The league all but begged the New Orleans Saints a couple years ago to hire him to be the head coach when the Chiefs didn't really want him on the staff any longer. Listen, he's the best rah-rah, get in your face, foot up the tailbone kind of coach. Every roster, every coaching staff needs. But he's a position coach and he's a running backs coach. And that's it. That's his ceiling. And it's unfortunate, but when you're under the Andy Reid shadow and everybody knows that Andy calls the plays, everybody knows that Andy's the number one source when it comes to what the offense is going to be. And Eric's job was to basically coordinate which guys were in the field of play for the play that was called. And that was the extent of it. And it's just, he goes to UCLA for a year. He interviews for a couple of OC jobs. He was with Washington before that. It's just, he doesn't have it. And the NFL owners know it. And I doubt the NFL owners felt that he could put a staff together. Listen, I love Eric. I think when he was the Chiefs running backs coach, they had the best running game in the NFL. And they don't have the best running game in the NFL anymore. And but Eric wanted to be an OC, and Andy gave him the quote unquote title, and he didn't do anything with it.
So then why in the world would he leave a college job that he was an OC at? If that's what he wants to be. I know it's not the level he probably wants to be, but if you can't get a head coaching job at the professional level and you'll be an OC, why don't you do it at the collegiate level?
I just think his agent was really pushing him to get back in the NFL to maybe give him another run. He's with Ryan Poles. He's the GM. He was a former executive with the Chiefs. I think it's a good place for him. I like the staff that Johnson is putting together. I think of all the young coaches being hired, he's way ahead of the game as far as putting a good staff together. He's got some veterans in there. He's got some guys that have been there, done that. So I really like what he's doing. That's a good fit for him. And I think Eric will succeed there. I really do, as a running backs coach.
Well, we're 6 days now away from from the big game. How do you think the Chiefs and Eagles matchup?
That's a really good question, because I was kind of looking at the score path this morning. How the Eagles got there and how the Chiefs got there, and I know the 55 points or whatever it was against the Commanders/Redskins was impressive. But 4 turnovers, would that lead to 28 points or 23 points or 4 points, whatever it was? The Chiefs aren't going to make those mistakes. I think the Chiefs have a massive edge in this game, because I really think they understand what's ahead of them. A couple years ago, and I'll share this story. A couple years ago, the Eagles and the Chiefs played in the Super Bowl, and the Eagles were just glad to be there. They didn't practice in pads. They didn't do a whole lot during Super Bowl week when it came to game prep. They were just glad to be there. And the Chiefs, were in pads for 4 days, and Andy just grilled these guys into submission to say, hey, every snap matters. And, I think this time around, I think the Eagles will be a little bit more prepared. I think Nick Sirianni will do a little bit better job than he did last time. But I just think that the chance to three-peat, the chance to become the greatest NFL team of all time, which they would become, in my opinion, I don't think they're going to screw this up. And I don't think their mindset is anything but go win this football game. And they have no distractions. They have a veteran team. They've got young guys who have stepped up. You got draft picks who've never not been to a Super Bowl who are contributing. It's just an incredibly well-run organization at the moment. And though they don't talk about the three-peat, it's kind of like a cloud that's just always going to be there, and you're going to hear it probably 15 to 20,000 times, this week. And so as far as the matchup goes, I give the Chiefs the edge at every category: offense, defense, special teams, just because of their ability to understand the moment and that every play matters.
What position group in your mind needs to have maybe not necessarily the biggest impact over the entire game, but the most timely impact in this game?
Offense or defense?
Either.
I would say defensively, that front seven has to get after. They have to stop Barkley. That's just it. You stop Barkley, you win the game, and you win the game handily. If Barkley's, $150, $175, they did a pretty good job with McCaffrey last year. If they kind of keep him to similar numbers and they stop him in a clutch moment, then I think they're going to be okay. But put the game on Jalen Hurts. So the front seven has to say, okay, we're going to make Jalen Hurts beat us, because I think the Eagles are going to be really tempted to do what the Ravens did, is to throw the ball, to match wits with Patrick Mahomes. It's in Nick Sirianni's ego is just a perfect glide path for, let's just do what they don't think we're going to do, and they'll screw it up. And I think that's where the Chiefs take advantage. But to me, stop Barkley and make Hurts beat him. If those two things happen, this is a blowout.
We're visiting Nick Athen on the Hurl Chevrolet GMC video stream here on this Monday morning. If there is one area that you should have concern if you're a Chiefs fan, where would it be?
I think it'd be at running back. I think if they rely on Pacheco in this game, they're going to be making a mistake. I think they need to ride Kareem Hunt until the wheels fall off. That's my biggest concern. You kind of saw that last week against Buffalo. Pacheco got some early minutes, and then, Hunt didn't really get in the groove until later in the game. And I think Hunt is the key to the offense. If he's running well, and if you remember a couple years ago against the Eagles, when they started running the ball in the second half, the Eagles had no answers for that. And I think Hunt needs to be that guy. Now, Pacheco can still make plays, and he made a couple of really big plays in the Bills game. But to me, that's my biggest concern. It's kind of like Bill Self and KJ Adams. Don't fall in love with Isaiah Pacheco when you got a better player in Kareem Hunt. And I think they need to ride Kareem Hunt.
Because I agree with you, but I kind of do like Kareem, the idea at least, of Kareem having fresh legs late in the game, because no one wants to tackle Kareem Hunt at all. But when he has fresher legs, I guess, than if you ran him the whole first half. So I get what they're going at with that, in my opinion. But what do you think about that? Would you rather him have fresh legs late or just use him the whole game? I guess it's the Super Bowl, so it's a little different.
I don't think it matters for Kareem Hunt, because I'll tell you why. He has been through hell.
Yeah.
His own self-torture. And he finally gets a chance to not only win the AFC Championship game, but get to the Super Bowl. You watch that police video of him being pulled over, and just, it's gut-wrenching. It's his own doing, and it's his own fault, and he gets a chance. I don't think it matters if it's the first, second, third, or fourth quarter. He's gonna move the pile, and he's gonna get the yards. And I don't think there's a player more motivated than maybe him and DeAndre Hopkins to win a ring.
That was my next question. Do you expect more from DeAndre Hopkins than what we've seen so far in the playoffs? Because this is his chance.
I think you're going to see on Sunday why DeAndre Hopkins is a future Hall of Famer. I just got a feeling he's gonna take off in this game. I mean, the Eagles have some really talented young corners, a couple of rookies back there at safety and corner who have played beyond their age and skill set this year. But with Hollywood Brown and now Juju Smith-Schuster is someone they're going to have to keep an eye on. Of course, you got Travis Kelce. Then you got Xavier Worthy. I just think D-Hop's going to have a very special game. I really do.
Who, in your mind, if Mahomes does not win the MVP, but the Chiefs do win the Super Bowl, who has the next best chance, I guess, to win the Super Bowl MVP?
I'm gonna go with Chris. I'm gonna go with Chris Jones. We haven't seen that 2-3 sack game yet from him this year.
Yeah.
And he's the leader of that defense. As he goes, everybody goes. And I think the big dudes are going to step up in this football game because they know what it means. And I think Chris Jones is going to have a great game.
Sorry, Ross, I got another question I just thought of. But, the last time, this is the only – I am confident. But the thing that concerns me the most is this is the worst offensive line Mahomes has had since the 2020 Super Bowl. And I hate to throw that out there. You think he's had worse?
I disagree.
Really?
Come on, dude. Look, since Cleveland, Patrick Mahomes
played better, but I'm saying there's still a chance that this doesn't work. I mean,
there's not a chance. Joe Thuney is a pro.
That's a good D-line, though.
Watch the film of Mike Caliendo. The multiple times in which he left his position to attack a blitzer. I kept watching it. Who's 66? I mean, what's going on here? He was brilliant. This is the best since Cleveland. This is the best offensive line that Patrick Mahomes has had this year. It's not the worst since 2020. They're cohesive. They're glue. Do they make some mistakes? Yes. But what Thuney has done is just incredible.
It is.
And I'm not saying he's the future left tackle. He's the left tackle right now. What he has done is bring stability and give Patrick Mahomes confidence that he's not going to be a helmet in the middle of his back. And I think that's huge. So no, I don't think this is the worst offensive line since 2020. I think
so. You're not concerned at all about the offensive line?
Not one. I am. That's the least of my concerns in this football.
Okay, interesting.
Nick Athen, continue to be our guest here on the Hurl Chevrolet GMC video stream. I think this is going to be one of the best matchups. You guys have kind of touched on this. I think it's going to be one of the best Super Bowl matchups we've seen of a war in the trenches.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I think this Eagles offensive line against this Chiefs defensive line, I think that's going to be the deciding factor in the game. That's my opinion. I think that's what's going to be that decides this, because if Eagles get a push and they run the ball, I don't know. I don't know. I just think line play controls football games.
Yep.
And I don't know. The Chiefs have a great defensive line, but the Eagles have a great offensive line. I think it's whoever ends up winning that game or winning that matchup, I think is probably the one that wins this game, in my opinion.
Yeah. The five horsemen on the Eagles offensive line are absolutely incredible. The fact they haven't missed a beat since Jason Kelce retired is pretty impressive. You're right. If they're going downhill, they're going to be tough to stop. Spags is going to have to make sure his guys understand gap assignments. And listen, they're not going to miss the tackles that the Commanders missed on Barkley. Someone's going to get up in this grill and prevent those 60-yard runs into 5 or 6 yard runs. But I think for me, Mike Pennell, underrated, just one of a gentle giant beast. When he's on, that helps Chris Jones, that helps Karlaftis, that helps Nick Bolton. That helps the front seven, crash the line of scrimmage. Plus, you got safeties and corners who can support the run in Kansas City, where obviously the Commanders couldn't. So that's a huge advantage. I mean, it's a total team effort on defense to stop Barkley. But you're right. As dominant as the Chiefs' offensive line was a couple of years ago with the Eagles when they didn't touch Mahomes, the Eagles' offensive line can do the exact same thing against the Chiefs this go around. But again, what Eagles team are we going to see? Are we going to see that run first, pass second? Or are we going to see the pass first, run second? And that's the big debate. And Spags is going to have to be ready. But I'm confident that he's going to come up with a scheme. But the key for me defensively has always been, and I say this, and if I ever have a chance to talk to Spags or Mike Cullen, defensive line coach, I said, just hold your gaps. Just fill your gaps. Forget about taking on the blocker. Just hold your ground and go hit the gap, because that's where the runner is going to be, or that's where the easiest path to the quarterback is going to be. And if they play really disciplined, then I think it's going to be difficult for the Eagles offense.
Nick, we'll let you go. What is your prediction?
Oh, you want my score?
Sure. Whatever you want to predict. If you haven't come up with that score yet, that's fine. You can say
I'll say
5-3, whatever.
I'll say 33-19 Chiefs.
All
What,
right.
you think that's funny?
Yeah, I do. I don't know.
You're asking me on a Monday.
I
Play
know.
the clip, Ross. Play the
It's
clip.
fine.
Play the
fine.
Mahomes clip.
Play the
I
clip on
wish
Monday.
I could. I remember my computer's down.
Oh yeah, it's not
Otherwise, I would
working.
play it.
It's the Mahomes and the golf cart saying, you know what? I'd keep it close to the really end, with the very end.
Yeah,
I'm not betting against Patrick Mahomes.
I'm not betting against
And
him
I'm
either.
not betting that this is going to be a wider gap in the score than
I
people
hope
realize.
so.
For a team to score 55 points and to come out and be a juggernaut offensively 2 weeks later, it's just not going to happen.
Okay.
I hope so. I hope you're right, Nick. Hope you're right.
Guess we'll find out on Monday when you grill me.
Yeah, Nick, what were you thinking? Nick, what were you thinking?
I know. It was 40. It was 43-10. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god, that'd be so fun.
Nick,
That would be
thank you so
fun.
much
Start
for the
drinking early.
time. Have a great Super Bowl. What's your favorite Super Bowl dish that your wife whips up? We'll end on that.
Oh,
You've had a lot of practice at this over the last few years.
She makes an incredible vegetable beef soup.
Ooh.
And she makes it for me on Sundays. It's kind of like my good luck charm.
The vegetable beef soup.
Oh my god, it is
yummy.
So
Sounds good. I like
store
that.
quality good.
There we go. Thanks, Nick. We'll see you, buddy. Be good.
See ya.
Once again, great stuff there from Nick Athen. We'll take a break, come back, wrap up the show next. This is the Blitz.
Drive into the new year with incredible deals at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas. Right now, get a $3,000 total cash allowance on the 24 Chevy Suburban or Tacoma 25 Chevy Equinox at 2.9% APR financing, plus no payments for 90 days when you finance with GM Financial. Looking for a truck? Get 0% APR on the 24 GMC Sierra 1500 with a 5.3-liter engine for well-qualified buyers and score $3,250 when you trade in an eligible vehicle. Visit Hurl Chevrolet GMC today or shop online at hurlchev.com.
At FNB Bank, we know family comes first. Whether you're opening a savings account for your kids, buying a new home, or planning for the future, we're here to help every step of the way. With personalized service and flexible options, we make banking easy for your growing family. FNB Bank, serving families, strengthening communities. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
If you're shopping for a banking institution, visit with Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, and Quinter, Kansas. The Equity Bank is heavily invested in local business and activities contributing in many ways back to their community. Their employees are involved with many organizations and area events. Plus, a lot of experience comes with that staff. You'll find valuable local assistance when you bank at the Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, Quinter, and other locations in Western Kansas. The Equity Bank, member FDIC.
Ross Volkmer,
Listen to this guy. He knows what he's talking about.
Max Gershon.
That broadcast school has really paid off.
This is the Morning Blitz.
All right, just a couple minutes left to go here in the show. Want to get to the leftovers real quickly. Our listener friend from the FB Bank text line, Andy, chimes in. He goes, I'm a Chiefs fan, and I can't stand the fact that the Chiefs signed Kareem Hunt back, kicked off the team committing a crime, and our organization just forgot. I don't think the image looks great. So some people are not big on the Kareem Hunt signing back.
God, it's a say. We needed a running back. He knew the system, gave him a second chance. Seems like he's changed his ways now, and he's helped us out. That's all I have to say.
No, we'll see. Everyone's got their own opinion. Leftovers. We talked about the 4-days Tech Northwest Men already. Tech women lost 84-38 at Cloud on Saturday. Colby Community College swept Garden City. Women winning 46-40 in a low-scoring affair. And the Colby Community College men winning 82-81. Wanted to get to some wrestling real quickly. Hoxie boys once again champions in the Mid-Continent League. They had 7 champs in Russell on Saturday to take first. Oakley came in 8th with 1 champion, Carter Creer. Girls side, you had Oakley placed 3rd with 4 champs. Hoxie finished 6th with 1 champ. Norton was the MCL girls champion. Another good showing from St. Francis girls. They had 7 top 3 placers, and they took second at the Hoisington Girls Cardinal Classic. So a very good showing from St. Francis this past weekend over there in Hoisington. And then, of course, can't forget about K-State women. Once again, a top 10 ranked basketball team, pretty including number 11. But 14 points from Terrence Sides, 19 from Jalen Glenn. They had 9 3-pointers. They rout KU in the women's Sunflower Showdown yesterday, 91-64. Big game on Wednesday. Circle your calendars. Wednesday, K-State women host TCU. The top spot in the Big 12 is on the line. That will be a very, very, very big game coming up in women's college basketball in the Big 12.
And back lifts his ball high and deep to right. How about a walk-off Gray? Thomas to the 10. Denver's going on to New England. They win it on the first play of overtime. Mahomes swings it. It's there. Hardman. Jackpot. Kansas City.
You saw the score of the Cleveland Cavaliers Mavericks game.
I was watching it.
What was it? 91-40.
They scored 91 points in the first half, a franchise record right after the Mavericks had that trade the night before. Just salt on the wound. I was actually watching it while I was golfing. I had it in the cart. But it was, that was destruction. The Cavs are still playing some great basketball. The Mavericks had, guys that you had never heard of or could even imagine hearing of in their starting lineup that game. They were missing a couple other guys like Kyrie, obviously, and AD hasn't played yet, but still. Woo! Rough times in Dallas. Jerry Jones is not the worst owner in Dallas anymore, so that's crazy.
Whoa, that's quite a statement.
Right? I don't think he even would have traded Luka.
I don't think so. Jerry's pretty about keeping his stars around, but yeah, that was definitely a very interesting weekend. Anything else you got in the walk-off?
No, KU Iowa State tonight.
That's right. Can't forget Flower Country 97.9, Iowa State, K-State, KU, both going to be looking to get back in the win column after both getting handed ugly losses.
I can imagine how this one's going to go.
This will be good. I can't wait. It's going to be feisty out there. It's going to be feisty.
We'll see.
All right. For Max, I'm Ross. Thanks to Nick Athen again. We'll see you back here on a Tuesday. This is the Morning Blitz.